Hey, good evening, YouTube. Dan here again with my second video of the day. Earlier, I showed a video of my mail day from today where I got the final card I needed, number 68 notwithstanding, for my 1959 Fleer Topps. Oh my goodness, I can't speak. 1959 Fleer Ted Williams set. I got the final card for my set. I actually still have it right here. Number 17, finally got that card. I say finally, I've been working on that set for about 5 years, and I'll get into, weeks where all of a sudden I'll start looking for cards off the list, and then I'll go months without looking for anything else. So finally, about 2 months ago, I finally got it narrowed down to about 8 or 9 cards, and I said, I gotta finish this set. I gotta just go out and get it done with. So that was definitely a big collecting milestone for me, with obtaining the final card for that set. Someday I'll get the number 68. I may just buy a reprint for now so I can put it in the book so I don't have that big gaping hole in the middle of that second or third to last page. So I was excited to get that in the mail today. I've got some upgrading to do on that set. I have a few cards that have gum stains and some other minor issues. This one, as I mentioned in the video, has a little bit of a hairline crease, which the seller did not disclose. I will be sending them a message because I'm not really pleased about that. As I mentioned in prior videos, I don't buy cards with creases typically, unless it's very rare or very old. Something like that. There's so many of these cards. It's not a rare set. I mean, you can find 8, 10, 12 complete sets on eBay at any time and thousands of singles. So it's not a tough set by no means, but it's cool. It's Ted Williams. I mean, anytime you can finish a Ted Williams themed set, it's always a good thing. So what I mentioned earlier is I would talk tonight about another kind of a themed set, which I probably will never be able to complete simply because there's a lot of cards in it, and they're really not that easy to find. And sometimes when you do find them, they're really highly priced. And when I say highly priced, I'm talking $2, $3, $4 a card. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're trying to complete a set and you're trying to get each number for the set, it's a little difficult. So the set I'm speaking of is the 2007 and 2008 Topps Moments and Milestones sets. Now these sets aren't really that popular, to be honest with you nowadays. I don't know of any collectors who are trying to build that set, whether it's a player or a team. And in my case, it's the team I'm going for. Now, what I don't consider to be the set would be one of each card from the set. What I'm saying is one of each individual number for each player. So let me just pull out a sheet from my book here. This is the 2007 version, and just to show what I'm talking about here, sorry again about the glare. These plastic sheets, I have to hold it back a little bit. This is Curt Schilling. Now this is the 21 win card of Curt Schilling from his 2007 season. Now, what they did on these is they made a card for each win, and they're all serial numbered to 150. Now, they also made a black version of each card, which is serial numbered to 29, and a blue version of each card that's serial numbered to 10, and of course they have the one of ones, which are a burgundy color. Now, my goal is to get every single number of every single Curt Schilling card. So exactly 21 wins. They made 21 cards, one card for each win. So as you can see, front and back, I actually have number 19 and 20 on the next page. I'm about halfway to the Curt Schilling part of this set. And again, these are tough to find. You can find them on the major sites. I've pretty much cleaned out most of the major dealers of these cards. Every once in a while you find them. I don't typically buy them on eBay because people sell the individual singles for $2, $3, $4 a card, like I was saying before. I'm looking for them in the 50 cent, 75 cent range. As I get closer, I may be willing to spend a little bit more on that. But, this is kind of what it looks like. This is one of the David Ortiz cards from the set. As you can see, I have, for this particular 2-page spread, I have cards 10 through 27. I have every number. So I actually have several hundred from each set, but I'm still not even 50% complete. And I've been putting these together probably for the last 6 or 7 years solid. There's a couple cards that I almost have the complete set. Johnny Damon, I'm looking at Johnny Damon right now. He had 35 doubles was his card. I'm actually only missing number 1. can't seem to find that card. If I find one on eBay, I would probably pay a little bit more for it to to fill the Johnny Damon set. The David Ortiz, the next one was 74. Let's see, 74 hits is what it says on it, but there's actually 74 walks. I'm sorry, 75 walks, but the cards actually say hits on it, so those are actually error cards. I actually have cards 3 through 45, so I actually have a nice run, and then I'm missing mostly cards from the 50s and 60s, and I'm missing 1 and 2. So again, I look for these every once in a while. This is one of those white whale type sets. The 2008, I also have a lot of the 2008s. Pedro Martinez has over 300 cards. I have about 180 of the 300 or so Pedros. In this particular set, the big number one is Schilling for strikeouts with 203 strikeouts, and I probably have about 130 of the cards. So I'm still a ways away from completing them. I don't really collect the black versions. I do have a couple pages here at the back of my book. I have a dozen or so cards that are the black version. I'd hold more of them up, but as you can see from the one I held up, the glare on the pages kind of makes it look a little too shiny. But I'm always looking for these cards. I have my master list in the front here of the cards that I'm missing. The last time I did a count there was a total of 1,064 cards in the 2007 set, and at the time I had 402 of them, so I was about 38% complete. Looking at my marks on here, it looks like I've added probably another 20 to 25 more cards, so I'm probably right around the 40% mark of being complete, which is fairly impressive considering how hard these are to find. I look on eBay for lots. Not a lot of times can you find player lots, not at least of Red Sox players. And I have not really had a lot of luck in finding some of the numbers that I need. So that's kind of like my collecting white whale. People think I'm crazy to even try for that. Just be happy with one of each card or one of each, player from each segment. But to me, it's a challenge of trying to get them all. Between the two sets, I probably have about 850 different Moments and Milestones cards. I have a couple of the one-of-ones. I have a Schilling one-of-one, and I think I picked up a Pedro. I want to say I picked up a Pedro about 6 months ago also. I'm never going to attempt the number to 29. There's just way too many. I'd like to get one of each of those. That would be happy. And the 10s also. And maybe eventually the one-of-ones, because they're not terribly expensive when you can find them. If you can find them at auction rather than buy it now when people are trying to sell them for 30, 40 bucks a card. Sometimes you can get it at auction for $5, $6 depending on the player. So that's my Moments and Milestones set. Again, that was the 2007 set. I have another binder of the 2008s. Very close to spilling into a second binder on both of these. They're a little bit thicker cards. Again, they're all serial numbered to 150, and that's going to be one of my things that I'm never going to give up on. Someday, maybe I'll complete that set. It'll certainly be something very cool if I ever do. If anybody out there has any of these, shoot me a line. I'll check my list, see what we can figure out. So I wanted to post that tonight, commemorating the completion of my 1959 Fleer set. I wanted to talk about some other just Red Sox themed sets. So that's all I have for tonight. And I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully I'm going to have a good mail day tomorrow. I'm expecting 50 or so cards from Sport Lots and off the want list that I posted. Check out my site on Facebook. I did upload my 1991, 1992, and 2020 want lists. I actually got my 2020 one up there. I do have cards coming in for the 2020 already. The Donruss Hollow Blue. I actually bought a lot of 9 different, and the 7 cards that I need are all in that lot, so I'm super excited about that to complete that set. Those are selling relatively cheap. They must be a little bit more available this year, but anytime I can complete a parallel team set this early in the going, I'm usually pretty happy. So check it out. Ultimate Boston Red Sox Collector page on Facebook. For now, that's it for tonight. I'm out. Have a good night.